it says here that he has continued to claim his innocence as fans were still accusing him of having a hand in the death of Ilerioluwa Oladimeji, aka Mohbad. The singer's former boss, Naira Marley, and some members of Malian Records, including Sam Larry, have been accused of being responsible for his death. But Naira Marley, in his Instagram handle during the week, absolved himself of any wrongdoing. He also restated his innocence in a viral interview with Reno Omokri. In the interview, which was shared on Omokri's Instagram page, sorry about that, excuse me. On Omokri's Instagram page, the NMR insisted that he had no hand for Mohbad. At least we will have to believe that for now until all investigations have been done. And he also revealed that he paid for several scans on in a bid to help the deceased singer. We'll wait till the post-mortem comes and it will give us an idea of what it is. But may Mohbad's soul rest in peace. I even saw that in Canada, Sheriff, they had a vigil for him. I also hear one has to be careful that there's going to be a proper funeral for him. Okay, in doing that, some persons are getting together to see what they can organize. For God's sake, can they not turn this thing into a fanfare? I saw, some pictures of some people, whether they were trying to buy coffins and so on and so forth. And let's just tone this thing down and remember that whichever way you look at it, whatever you might think, he has a father and he has a mother. And that is very, very significant. We shouldn't be insensitive to the feelings of these people, including people who believe that maybe they either had a hand in it, which I doubt, or, which I doubt very much. I have children, so it's going to be difficult for me to believe that, or they didn't behave well. Fair enough. All of us, if he hadn't died, we wouldn't know. All of us, behave in ways and manners, not knowing the way things are going to turn. There's nobody that is perfect. But so let's not just make it a mudslinging exercise. I say let's be cautious. Let's be careful. Mohbad is dead. God bless his soul. Don't let us kill other people. When I say kill, I don't mean that they will lay prostrate. But don't let's kill other people. So I know a lot of people want to make news. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not trained in journalism to know that you don't just write things just like that, and you don't just make claims. My source told me this. You can't hide under your source sometimes to blaspheme people. I don't think it's right. So let's all his soul rest in peace, like I said, and let's all please, let us be very, very careful, very, very careful about the things that we say.
Indeed. May so rest in peace. Let's go to the Punch newspaper. Indefinite strike, labor protest as FG threatens union leaders with contempt charge.
The same old story is coming. It's the same old story. You're going to get caught injunction. Some civil, various groups will surface. Some civil groups that surfaced last night. Some from nowhere. I don't know them. Probably they've existed. I don't know them, and they are running counter to the NLC objective. See, the same is, you could almost write, it's like a template. It's like somebody brings a template out. I have no confidence. I'm not saying whether, but I have no confidence in these things. It looks to me like a play script. I've been around for too long, and I've been involved. That's why today most people won't believe I don't belong to any club whatsoever. And that's because when it comes to things like this, my trust level is at the lowest. More so at a time when personal funds are scarce, to put it that in. So I'm going to be very careful. I'm going to be extremely careful. What they are doing, by the way, on paper looks noble, fighting for the people and so on and so forth. But I also know about tactics. And when it comes to tactics, this government is not short of all kinds of tactics. Bringing out groups that appear to be doing this and that. But rather, I think the government should concentrate on that spontaneous thing that happened when Mohbad died. And pray that we don't have an opportunity for those kind of things to happen too often. But to put this in better perspective, there's a journalist I know. He's always been in the labor. In fact, he's almost a labor leader himself, Owela Kemfa. And he'll be here tomorrow at 9, so between the journalist and labor man, he probably will be able to put some of these things perspective. But for now, I will tell you what I will do. You are free to do what you want to do. For now, I'm sitting back. Okay, I'm sitting back. It's noble to do these things, but I want to be clear on who is doing what. And you had better be clear on who is doing what. Whether you're going to put your livelihood on the line for a cause that looks good, but you don't know the intention of the players. I'm not casting any aspersions on the labor people. This is just from experience. Even beyond the days of Oshiomhole, who they will back, huff and puff and back and whatever. And then at the last minute, they put the pin in the bubble and everything comes flat. So that's where I stand. And like I told you, please always remember that, at least between myself and Sheriff, I can speak for him. He dare not say I'm not speaking for him.
Yes, you are. You are. Wait, let me hear first.
That we are not always right. We're human beings.
Oh, yes.
And we like every human being, we have our own prejudices and so on and so forth. But what we are doing is to tickle your imagination. That's what we are doing, to sensitize you and say things the way they are. That's why you will now find me saying that this is what I think. Because the other day, I think somebody said that Jimi Disu was the one who told them to vote for Buhari. I put it on my neck. So let's see how it unfolds, and let's see where it will all end. The story here says that the Attorney General, says that the post says that from the contents of the communique and available media reports, the proposed strike action is connected with the removal of fuel subsidy and provisions of palliatives for workers. These palliatives I have not seen. Honest to God, would the government be kind enough to open up a website where you can list the names of all those who got these palliatives and how? Because this government, because of the false, I don't want to use the word fake, but because of the false statements that have emanated from this government, there are trust issues. So if you want us to believe that the money that you loaned actually got to persons, surely you must have a website from which the money was disbursed. Can you open it up to us so we can check? Look up the computer is never full. Go set up a website, palliatives website, go there and see who got what. And then so that we can total the figure and see that the loan we got was used judiciously, and these were the people who got whatever it is. Because I haven't seen anything about palliatives. So the Attorney General doesn't want them to strike, and the TUC deputy president waved off the AGF's warning and said it is a threat, but power belongs to the people. Let them carry all of us to prison. I can only answer by saying the end justifies the means, if that is what they want. Sheriff, have I ever told you my experience during the Abiola saga?
Yes, you have.
I have learnt my lesson. One of the things that almost killed my heart, was those who were in the forefront of the struggle took up political appointments with Abacha. On that day, I wept. I wept to the point that tears could not even come from. I felt so stupid. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I said to myself, Jimmy, you've been hard. You've been hard. Nigeria is where it is today because the truth is, all these processes that could lead to good protests have been hijacked. QED. And Nigeria has become a conspiracy. Those who you would bank on, that you grew up with, you would bank on that, let me go and talk to this guy or that guy. This thing is not good. In life, one has to be flexible. Once the narrative comes, that's end of story. I've done mine. So.
Okay. All right. It's scary when you, I'm trying to recover when you say Nigeria has become a conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy between. No, you don't need to look far. from the politicians, of course, those are the babas, to the civil servants, grade 2, to even your religious leaders. When you hear some religious leaders say certain things, you will shudder. Traditional rulers, now that they are multiplying, something occurred to me late last night. So why do we have so many traditional rulers? What politicians are going to follow in future is what you saw during the elections in Lagos. That's why you're going to need little pockets of traditional rulers who is a grand conspiracy. I don't think that our people actually know the depth of thinking of our politicians, minus thinking for you.
The depth of thinking.
We take it for granted. When you see things like all these little titles, people showing up, look at in Lagos now, we are expecting an Oba in that side of town, in Oshodi. When you see these kind of things, it's preparatory to take over of state. That is part of what you call grab it and run away with it. So it's not an accident. The number of traditional rulers we have in Lagos, for example, I can no longer count. Because when I was growing up, we knew Oba of Lagos. I'm talking of the metropolis now. I'm not talking of Badagry and Ekpe and so on and so forth. But every hamlet now has a first class or whatever Oba. So by the next election, you'll be having more Oros and all kinds of funny things like that. It is called state capture.
Let's go take a look at this editorial in the Punch newspaper. Tinubu Cardoso should rescue the Naira. They have another one inside, page 26. Manufacturers spend 60 billion naira on alternative energy in 6 months, according to Man.
60 billion that could have been avoided. 60 billion that could have been avoided in 6 months. Those of you who are still sleeping at home and haven't gone to work, you better run there. Because anytime from now, the kind of massive retrenchment... Look at diesel price has gone up again. Okay, so the Punch essentially are welcoming Cardoso, to the hot seat. And they say here that Cardoso inherits a chaotic... By the way, Cardoso is the CBN governor. Inherits a chaotic, opaque, and politicized monetary policy system under his substantive predecessor, Emefiele. The CBN was weak, inefficient, and enmeshed in the murky politicking of the Muhammad Buhari administration. In its core mandates of managing the currency, interest rates, and inflation, the CBN has been an abject failure. Regulation also suffered, and financial institutions, banks, non-banks, and bureau de change have run wild, undeterred by the non-application of sanctions or the fines that pale in comparison to the huge profits from rule breaking. Meaning that the punishment, there was a time, I think it was during, who could it have been? I think Obasanjo's first outing as a soldier, went to smoke the Indian hemp. I think the fine was like 10 kobo or whatever. So we used to joke in those days. Like if a lot of people would joke, say, hold your money there, we don't enforce, that's what we have. We don't enforce rules and laws. By the way, this is a time to call on the governor. You're cleaning the environment. Good. Can you get your transport minister to please get these Okadas off the bridge who come in the opposite direction? Surely that's a simple thing to do. The bridge has an entrance and has an exit. Put people on the entrance and exit, then get some directors to make a surprise rate and go and hold the people at the entrance and exit. How did this happen? Anyway, don't let me divert them. So they say to save the naira, tame inflation and rates, Cardoso should deliver on his promise to quickly clear the backlog of forex obligations and discontinue Emefiele's unorthodox policies. As he admitted, meeting repayments and other obligations and funding the market are crucial. Okay, they're very, very crucial. His pledge to enhance transparency, fix corporate governance, and restore the CBN's integrity is urgent. Currently, Opacity and administrative chaos prevail. Most unpardonably, Emefiele compromised CBN's independence. Cardoso must restore that autonomy, which is crucial for the success of any central bank. And I think when he was being grilled at the floor of the Senate, the Senator Kalu, is it Kanu or Kanu?
Hello.
Kalu, yes. Senator Kalu asked him pointedly, if the president tells you to do something, like we don't know, so some presidents in the past have told them we want cash. Will you do it? And he said no. So the world is watching. Cardoso should know there is no hiding place. The same clerk that is going to go and bring the money from the safe to take to president, whatever it is the one who's going to make a slip and make it public. So he needs to be very, very careful. He has a name to protect. And so we wish him all the best. Finally, the point says Cardoso should jealously shield the CBN from political and crony influence. Okay? From political and crony influence. His closeness to Tinubu should not compromise the bank's autonomy either. Reforming and calming the forex market should be his immediate priority, accompanied by moderating inflation and interest rates. Between them, Tinubu and Cardoso should save the Nigerian economy. So says the Punch, and all those who believe in what the Punch will say aye, and those who don't believe say nay. Say something now.
I'm following you.
You can't follow.
I'm saying say aye.
You must vote.
Say nay. That's what I'm doing. But I seriously do think that the problem, the challenges that the CBN is faced with is beyond just policy regulation and all of that. Because I think that the economy as a whole has been hijacked by whoever, I don't know. I can't speak
but
to that.
usually is complicity with the
People from the inside.
What Emefiele, the picture we get from him was very, very bad. Very, very bad. The picture we get from him was very, very bad. Political interference was very, very bad. This country needs officials who can stand up to their principle. We are waiting to see if this gentleman.
We can't get it. There's no need to wait. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Or it's not going to happen unless Mr. Cardoso is ready to, drop his letter. If that is coming to, if it's coming to that stage.
Well, we will still give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think Cardoso would go hungry.
I don't think so too.
If he's not a CBN governor, I don't think. I've known him virtually all my life, and we are not friends. But and to be fair to him, he's a man of some kind of credibility. So it's up to him, really.
Yeah.
It's up to him. I don't think I would last 2 days as a CBN governor. From what we know over time. The CBN governors of the likes of Shiroma, Isong, and so on and so forth, even some during the military, you don't have that kind of whatever anymore.
I think until we address how a CBN governor is appointed, we would keep having the same
He will
problem.
always be appointed by the president.
That's what I'm saying. Like until we address that, until we make it like come apply for a job, and then you get vetted, you get screened. But I think in some countries the post is advertised. Like
even if you advertised it, look at what we get. For example, I'm sorry if we just drifted there. Look at what you have. All the people in the financial whatever are very close to the president. That makes me feel very uncomfortable.
But they've been there before he got there.
No, the president now, he appointed them. I'm talking of the minister, Cardoso.
Oh, you're not talking about the bank, okay.
The FIRS and all these people. You understand what I'm saying? That is not the way to go. That, in fact, it raises suspicion. Let's call a spade a spade. It's very... No, I don't think... And if Nigeria were in the hands of another body, let's say it was when we were not independent, our colonial masters wouldn't have approved that. Like all these people are his friends. That in itself shows we haven't learned anything. And the supporters keep trying to rationalize it. The president has to work with people that he knows. What kind of rubbish is that? So you set up a company, okay, and then the MD now employs all his friends. No. I tell you a very quick joke. I was marketing director. I was appointed marketing director of a newspaper house. The man who set up the newspaper was my friend, and he brought people that he knew. Okay, so we're a board of about 5-6 executive directors. The day he got to know that 3 of us were actually classmates, he started having a headache. If he hears now, he'll be smiling that because we got to know that nobody told me that he and Jimi were all classmates. We're all classmates in the same class.
Wow.
He got to know, and not long after, of course, I had to jump ship. Not just that, I was marketing, so all incomes into the company came through me. One of the other guys was in charge of the whole printing, whatever, and the third one was the executive vice chairman. So he became G3. They were saying they started, Jimi Disu stole money. I told him at the board meeting that, if I had inclinations to be a thief, I wouldn't even be. I would have been long gone. But so I think the president, in that regard, has started on the wrong foot. It brings about trust issues. You can't tell people not to think that something, because not only are they your friends, they're all from the same section of the country. Not just that, they narrow them down to Lagos. Who does that? Like my friend Itwa would say. But he's done it. Let's see if he can run away with it.
Okay. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. Sorry. Let's take a couple stories from the Metro page of the Punch.
Okay, Metro hoodlums lynched Plateau commercial driver, kidnappers free Nasarawa Polytechnic students. Wow. Listen to this. Robbers lay siege to Sapele Bini Road, attack motorists and passengers. Christmas, we are now in the Ember months. Suspected dead cow meat sellers in Gombe. You need to be careful where you buy your meat from. And for those who eat in restaurants and bukas and so on and so forth, if you can restrain yourself from not doing so, because these days you don't know where anything is from. I've noticed that sometimes when you eat one or two things outside, you end up with what do you call this thing? You end up with heartburn at night. You don't know what kind of oil it is. Even the meat, the day my sister, God bless her, took time out to go buy me proper meat from the abattoir. When the meat it smelled so fresh. Then I said to myself, there's something wrong. Even this one smells better than some of the cooked meat that we have. So my sister went to the abattoir. The cows there they're checked medically and so on and so forth before you. Good morning, my sister. How are you? I wanted to call her sister, then I realized that I'm older than her. 5 Lautech students driver burnt to death. Man remanded for raping lovers 4 years. Oh, come on! And this was in Lagos. A man, Stephen Monday, he's been thrown in the slammer for allegedly defiling his lover's 4-year-old daughter. You can't even leave. You can't even leave a child with anybody. No. Back in the day, you could tell a child, even 12, 13, Jokoti Musa, run to the bank, give her Fanta and biscuit till I come back. You can't even, do that these days. Loma shot Tedro Show plazas over environmental abuse. It's not just shutting Tedro Show; the whole environment needs cleaning. The whole environment, not just the plaza, but I don't know when the government is going to be able to put some control in that area. Lagos State High Court urged the mainland local government to hold a reconciliation or deliberation with the aggrieved traders from White Sand Market. Otto is a mess. Complete mess. So that's about all you have here.
Okay.
They say bad news is good news is no news.
Good is no news, yeah. That's what they say. But we must go now. That's good news.
Yeah, that's good news.
That's good news.
It's bad news that it is short, but it's good news that we must go.
You have to go. Thank you so much for coming. You're back at 9?
Yes, I'm going to have a conversation with a 21-year-old.
Okay, fantastic.
Yep.
It's back to Kofi on the Morning, Crossfire Lagos. Thank you for being a part of our show this morning. Good morning to you.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria.